All right, folks, what's going on? Welcome back to Street City Studio. I'm John Grady today, and I got some toys to look at. I got some new toys. Well, they're not all new exactly. Some of them are loose, but we'll get to that. I got a couple things to look at today. We got the new Hammond Collection Blue, which I'm pretty excited about. I want to check out these new and improved feet on these Raptors. Here, these blue, and moving forward, they should have smaller feet, so that's pretty good. That's pretty awesome. I also have the Vintage Collection Count Dooku to open here. I'm pretty excited about this one too, because I've been sitting on the old magnet hand Dooku for a while. It'd be nice to upgrade him finally. Now, I gotta say, I don't know if I'm loving this likeness or if I'm hating it. It's kinda, I gotta get it in hand and see. But before we move on and do all that, I kinda got a few things I want to cover here. With the exception of Blue, I got all of these toys today from my local shop. And let me get out of the way for this little shout out. My local shop here, Nerd Out. Randy over at Nerd Out. Awesome toy store, awesome guy. I highly recommend you check it out if you're in the area. But I definitely got some good toys here to check out today. We got Blue. We got Count Dooku, obviously, or maybe you didn't quite catch. I got a loose She-Hulk, which I'm pretty excited about, because I don't know about you, but I kind of enjoyed the show. It wasn't quite as drama heavy as some of these shows and movies have been lately, so I was kind of happy about that. It was the right kind of light, and I liked that about it. It wasn't always world-ending or universe-ending stakes, you know? Very, very grounded stakes for a Hulk, I thought. I liked it. Also, we got a Marvel Showdown Ghost Rider, which I'm pretty excited about. I really like the spike gauntlets he's got. All the little spikes on his gloves, his shoulders. Now, his skull and flames, I think the skull and flames look better on the Marvel Universe figures, but that's okay, because none of them got all these spikes. Next up, we got a loose X-Force Grizzly in really good shape, I might add. He even has one of his hammers. I'm pretty happy about that. And if anybody has a spare hammer, I'd love to finish him off with his other hammer. But until I find a spare, that's fine enough. And now, just to demonstrate that his little action feat. Oh, there it goes. It still works. Does feel like it's a little sticky in there, maybe something's loose. But it still feels pretty solid. It still works. There's no, I don't see any paint damage anywhere sticking out to me. It looks brand new. I gotta love that. And next up, we have old, what is this, Toy Biz, I believe. Toy Biz Thing from the Fantastic Four. And just like Grizzly here, I'm not seeing any scratches. I'm not seeing any paint wear. And his button feature still works like it's brand new. So that's really awesome. And now, this Grizzly will probably go with my 3 3/4 figures. But this thing, probably not so much. This one's just kind of going to stand off on his own. I don't really collect all these older figures, but just the nostalgia from this one, because at least for a good year or two, or maybe 3 even, this was probably one of my favorite figures. Probably back around when I was around 10 years old. And I used to watch the Fantastic Four cartoons in the morning before school. And that was the figure I had in my hand while I was watching those cartoons. It was a great, great figure. Really happy to have it on my shelf. And actually, he might go on the shelf somewhere if I can get enough Fantastic Four stuff to make a little spot for him. But currently I only have the team and maybe one extra Reed Richards and a couple extra things at this point. But now, finally, last up, before we start opening some of these packages, I also got a loose Catwoman, right? That's that, I feel like I'm going to say her name wrong, but Zazie Beetz, is that it? Zazie Beetz Catwoman. And now, I didn't get into this line. I don't have the Batman. I don't have the Batmobile from that movie. I wasn't a real big fan of that movie specifically. I didn't like the design choices. I didn't like the actor choices necessarily. It wasn't for me. But for a loose figure that was super cheap and in great shape, I wasn't going to pass it up. I'll make a good fodder for something eventually, or even if I, just fill out a Catwoman shelf or something at some point, that'd be nice to throw in there just as a little extra. Alright, so let me get some of these guys out of the way here. Start pulling them back here so we can open these. Let's open... We'll get to She-Hulk first, I think, here. And now, I really like these new packaging from Nerd Out. Last time I was in there, they didn't have this. It was kind of a whole new vibe when I went in there this time. It's nice to see he's got his own packaging going on. That's cool. Alright. So like I said, it's not really an MCU She-Hulk or anything. But I felt like I really needed a She-Hulk after the show. And this is probably the best one for this scale, for 3 3/4. Yeah, she's not standing very good yet. She's going to need some playing with. Get her feet balanced out or whatever. Oh, maybe I got it. There we go. Alright, so she can stay or she can fall. At this point, I don't care too much. We're going to move on. But actually, before I move on, I do want to maybe throw a Hulk in here just for size comparison, right? And maybe we'll use Catwoman. That's my biggest complaint, I think. She really could be bigger. She's not very big for a She-Hulk. Even next to me, she's a little taller than me, but she should be up to Hulk's chin at least, and she's not. She's like down here on his chest. That's alright. That's a nice figure anyways. I needed it. I desperately needed a She-Hulk figure, and I did not have any She-Hulk figures. So that'll be a nice start. And it really doesn't even look like the She-Hulk on the show exactly, but it doesn't look not similar, right? Does that make sense? We'll move on. Get She-Hulk out the way. Here, we can leave it right here. we'll move right on to Ghost Rider here. I'm kind of excited to get him open. I know people seem to have enjoyed those recent Ghost Rider photos I did. So this will be nice to maybe get some photos with him as well. Alright, now these Showdown figures, I was never a huge fan. I didn't play the game. But it is nice that they came with some of these extras. Let me get this little spring-loaded gun out of the way here. Right. And that was one thing. I was never a big fan of no spring-loaded guns and stuff. Right. But this little figure stand, if I can get it lined up good. This little figure stand's pretty nice. Kind of just posts in the back there. Or is this for his gun? Looks like the gun goes on his wrist. But yeah, I was more of a Marvel Universe guy than a Marvel Showdown guy. But some of these figures really are a little bit nicer in detail and articulation. But they can be a little goofy in certain places too. Like I had said, this head looks a little weird. Right, it looks like it's just a faceplate. But it does have a pretty menacing look to it. I like it. I don't care for this spring-loaded gun here, but whatever. I've had several of these Showdown figures, but this is my first full stand. I didn't have any of the stands. And so I don't even... Right, I'm not a role-playing... Ooh, there it goes. I'm not really a role-playing guy, so I understand this is attack and defense, I guess. But I never played, and I don't really know any of the rules or anything. But I do like this stand. That's kind of neat the way it pegs into his back there. But I think that's a little excessive for most characters, right? Unless they need to be flying or something, or jumping. I always felt like the foot stands, just peg their foots in, was fine. He doesn't even have foot holes. No holes. But that's different. It's kind of cool. And he'll look good with my other Ghost Riders. That's for sure. But I do, man. I like all these little spikes. Spikes around the top of his boots here. Spikes on the backhand of his gloves. Spikes on his gauntlets. Spikes on his shoulders. Spikes on his belt. That's really cool. Skull knee pads. Looks like skull elbow pads too, actually. That's cool. Yeah, this one's kind of a happy surprise, because I didn't even really know I was hunting for this figure ever. But I have seen lots of good Ghost Riders. Some customs and kit bashes and whatever. But that's a nice one. That's definitely cool looking buckles and straps, zippers and spikes. That's cool. Alright. Let's move on to... Oh, we'll get Blue open. How about that? Let's see here. Cut this tape. Alright, here we go. Hammond Collection Velociraptor Blue. Am I going to have to cut any of this, or can I just pull it? Yeah, pull it. Alright, now I gotta plug that tail in. The light side is the underside. There we go. Let's get him in a position where he can stand. Alright, let's see. No, I'm knocking stuff down. Look at me go. Alright, get this out of here. How about that? That'll make it better, huh? There. Ta-da. Let me zoom. Alright. There we go. Now, the feet really are a lot smaller. They do look a lot better. I will say these teeth don't look much better. Kind of wish they had done something about the teeth. But, he's got the little glassy eye. That's always good. But, I mean, he's definitely what you might expect, I guess. I don't want to say I'm hugely shocked by anything, but he's a nice improvement over my previous blue, because that one can't bend his legs at all. He's got the spring-loaded action. So that's definitely a nice improvement over that one. Pull him back a little and we'll dig into Count Dooku here. Yeah, I'm probably just going to tear into it. Yeah. Sometimes I'm more careful, but I don't know that he's going to be especially valuable or anything. See, I didn't destroy it, but it's not in great shape either. We got a tray with his Force Lightning hand. That's pretty cool. And we got a lightsaber hilt and the ignited lightsaber. I'll get those out of there. Try and break this tape if I can. There we go. There we go. Now for Dooku. There we go. Alright. That cape looks pretty good. It feels thin. I don't know if I love the feel of it, but it looks good. Can he take the hilt? Oh, let's see. Alright, yeah. He got that hilt on his hip real well. You gonna stand for me? Alright. Now, I always liked Dooku's bent tilt saber. That's a really cool design. This extra hand's pretty neat too. Probably pop his hand off and put that on. There we go. Here, we'll have John getting electrocuted. How about that? No, please. Oh, jeez, no. What'd I do? Yeah, it looks pretty good, though. That's funny. Yeah, I like that. And the more I look at this face, too, let me get this hand back up there so we can stick this one back. Kind of want to give you a close-up here if I can. This likeness really does look like that Christopher Lee. Looks like Count Dooku. I'm gonna fix this brightness here. Sorry about that, guys. But he does. He has that Dooku look. Kind of want to take some time and play with this cape and see how well it sits. Right. But that'll come after I play with it a bit, you know. Let's see. I definitely don't hate it. I wasn't sure, so I like it more than I was worried I might not like it as much. So I like it. I definitely like it. But I was worried that the head didn't quite have the right likeness, but it does. It does. It definitely seems to have the right look. He's very regal and right, looks like the definition of snobbery. Right? Yeah, I like that. That's cool. I was worried I wasn't gonna like it. Kind of want to get him in some fights with Anakin now. Anakin and Obi-Wan. I still need a mullet Obi-Wan though too. I've got all my Obi-Wans covered except for mullet Obi-Wan. But that's really cool. I'm pretty pleased with today's little trip to the store. Got some really good figures here. This Ghost Rider's a great find. The She-Hulk is a great find. Should go shit in there. Yeah. Thing. And Grizzly. Grizzly was a really neat character. And even the way they took him out was kind of interesting story. We won't get this, ain't no comics breakdown, but I almost forgot about Catwoman. Might as well pull her into Catwoman 2. But as always, I appreciate you guys coming by. Appreciate you hanging out with me, checking out my new toys, my new Dooku everything else. Some Marvel, some Star Wars, some DC, some Jurassic Park. It's good stuff. All right, but as always, I appreciate it. If you want to check me out on Facebook or Instagram, I'll leave the links in the description, as always. But otherwise, you have a great rest of your day. Have a great week. Keep playing with them toys. I'll talk to you again real soon.